As some of you may know, I often consult with nonprofit organizations to help them do strategic planning for their organization. As a part of strategic planning, you involve not only the people on the committee, but all the stakeholders within the organization. That means that there's a fair amount of work that goes into creating a real strategic plan, and it takes months to really come up with a plan that will inform the decisions of the organizations for years to come. Part of that process is a SWOT analysis. The goal of the SWOT analysis is to consider all of the factors that contribute to making the decisions for the organization for the next 3 to 5 years. So when I decided to put together my own personal strategic plan, it just made sense for me to do a personal SWOT analysis to really break myself down and use what I discovered about myself to make the plan for my life for the next 3 to 5 years. So at this point, you may be asking yourself, what is a SWOT analysis? So SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So in doing my personal SWOT analysis, I asked myself, what are my strengths? And I'm not just talking, career-wise, I'm talking about in life. What are my strengths? And then I took it a step further and I chose 4 people who I trust in life, who I don't mind being vulnerable with. I asked them the same question. I did the same thing with weaknesses. In this particular concept, as far as weaknesses go, I'm talking about things that if I were to just improve them a little, my life would be better. And then of course, opportunities. And these are the ideas and the things about yourself that you keep putting off, but at some point you should probably attend to, right? Opportunities. We're talking about personally here. We're not talking about the rest of the world. We're talking about what opportunities do you see for yourself in life? What ideas and behaviors? What could you improve about yourself? And then last but not least, the threats. And these are the things that will break you. That if this happened, then your whole world would crumble. So for a lot of people, that's financial. And for me, at the beginning of this plan, it was financial. All I had saved was $1,000. That didn't even pay my rent, right? And so if I had to pay my rent, I couldn't pay any other bills with my emergency fund, right? I didn't have a job at the beginning of this. So that was an incredible threat to my existence in that moment. And I did my analysis, right? I did it myself. And then I went and asked for people. And I think that was the most useful part of this. Asking other people what they thought my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats were. It was very easy for me to identify things, but when it comes to myself, I have blinders, right? I have blind spots. For example, I asked my dad what my strengths were. And he said courage. And I was like, I'm not courageous. I don't see myself as courageous in the slightest. I would have never put that attribute with me. But then my dad gave me all these examples and I was like, well, dang, I must be a little courageous. It's not intentional. I just do stuff. And so it takes courage actually to break yourself down, to go in front of other people and be vulnerable, right? And ask them to break you down. But if you choose people who, like I said, you can be vulnerable with, people who do respect you and explain to them what you're doing. I mean, I simply said to my dad, Dad, I'm trying to make a plan for the next 3 to 5 years of my life. And as part of that, I'm trying to figure out what my strengths are, like what I need to do to make myself better. So can you tell me like what opportunities you see for me that I may be missing? Let me tell you what I've come up with so far. And by doing that, I'm offering them a safe space to tell me what there's probably already been on their mind. And they like me, they love me, so they're gonna be kind to me and give me explanations as to why. And that information really helped shape my plan. Whereas I only see tons of flaws and a few opportunities at that time and a whole lot of threats to my existence. The opinions of others in this circumstance expanded my viewpoint and helped me think bigger about my future. This isn't the only thing I did to come up with ideas for my plan, but this really was a big part of it. A big part in helping me make decisions about what was immediate, right? What I immediately need to do, like my threats, and the longer term things that I needed to work toward. And it works the same for the organizations I work with, right? The people inside the organization see it one way, and all the people, all the customers, all the stakeholders see things very differently. And inevitably, every time, there's some kind of goal or priority that comes from what other people see as an opportunity or a possibility or strength for that organization. And I found that to be true for me too. I know this is scary. It was scary for me, choosing to be vulnerable with 4 people about where my headspace was, about my level of hopelessness I felt at that time. But this helped me crawl out. Breaking myself down helped me see opportunities for growth, helped me crawl out. So though it is scary, I encourage you to push past that fear. So I wanted to give you a few things to consider when you do this. The first time you try this, like you go and write down this list, I can almost guarantee that there will be more weaknesses and threats than opportunities and strengths, and just go with it. That's okay. What I did was gave myself time with this list. I gave myself about 3 to 4 weeks to complete it myself and complete it with others. So I did it. I walked away from it for a bit, came back to it. And in that time, talked to other people and sat with it for about a week before I used it to help create my plan. And last but not least, don't sell yourself short. Be brutally honest with yourself. You don't have to share this with anybody. This is for you, right? You don't have to share what you write, what you think are the greatest threats to your existence. You might not want to share that with other people, but you gotta be honest with yourself. To create a transformation in your life, it cannot come from a place of dishonesty. If you can't be truthful with yourself, who can you be truthful with? If you can't face yourself, that's a weakness in itself. That means that the rest of the world is shaping you because you're spending so much time putting up a facade, not just with the rest of the world, but with yourself. And that could be the journey you decide to go on. But if you're gonna do this work, don't skip this part. It is scary, but it's for you. And like I said in the first video, the most important project you will ever work on in life is you. What I did with my 3 to 5 year plan was a personal growth and a personal development plan. So the value I get from it is only what I put into it. So if you decide to do this work, please give yourself time, be kind to yourself, and be truly honest. So in the comments below, let me know if you've ever done a personal SWOT analysis, or if you've never even heard of a SWOT analysis before. I'd like to know. And until next time, be well, be safe, and find a bit of joy in every day. Bye.